Today we are rebuilding the Champions League winners from 2004, FC Porto, who have had a very good last 10 years. But this season, things seem to have gone a little bit wrong as they are only sitting in third place by the time of recording of this video. In Liga Portugal, of course. They've also already been knocked out in the Europa League by Roma in the round of 16, where certainly they appeared to be one of the contenders, if not one of the favorites, to win this competition. So today it is going to be the task of Rebuild Sombrero to rebuild this Porto side, a young Porto side, I must add, with players like Samu, Mora, we have Varela, João Mario. I'm gonna see what we can do, but certainly the goal is going to be to repeat the task of winning the Champions League, like the 2004 Porto team did, still the last team outside of the top 5 leagues to win the elusive Champions League. Having a closer look at this squad, I'm not so sure about the formation, I'm not gonna lie. Eustachio and Varela are actually CDMs, here they are CMs in this formation. The three at the back might be alright, but I'm, as I said, not sure about the rest of the formation. We might just need to switch this up a little bit. I have slightly tweaked the formation, still three at the back, but now two CDMs, Varela and Eustachio in their natural position, you could say. Samu has now a striking partner up top with Namaso. We might need to switch that striker, but I think with the way things are going in the Portuguese League, having two strikers will certainly help the firepower, especially against the weaker opposition. There are two players on loan to us in Perez, two centre-backs, Perez and Giallo, one from Udinese and one from Juventus. They are both 24 years old, and that will become quite important, as I'm going to tell you in just a second. I'm just checking if they are the only two players really on loan to us. I think so. Actually, there is also Fabio Vieira, who is on loan to us from Arsenal, also 24 years of age. This is though where the big tweak of this rebuild comes in. We can only buy players who are a maximum of 21 years of age. No players who are older than this threshold, as we are trying to build a young dynasty here at Porto. There is one more tweak in this rebuild though. So we can only buy players between the ages of 16 and 21, which is for sure, but also we can only spend a maximum of 20 million on a single player if now we reach the Champions League knockout. So if we reach, for example, the round of 16, it has to be, not the playoff round. If we reach the round of 16, we can add 10 million to our transfer budget. So let's say 20 plus 10 is 30, another 10 million for reaching the quarterfinals, 40, and of course yet another 10 million for the semis and so on. Another 10 for reaching the final if we will need those millions then. For the first season though, we have 33 million in the budget, only 20 million maximum on a single player, and also they must be between 16 and 21. I've even sold 4 players in Zaidu Zanussi, Andre Franco, Claudio Ramsch and Marco Grujic for a total amount of about 19 million. Our squad is now looking very thin, and still there are 3 loan players in there, Vieira, Perez and Giallo. We need to find solutions over there. Of course we can buy none of these players because they are 24 years old. We can only buy players between the age of 16 and 21, let's remember. And so for exactly 20 million, I've gone in and signed our very first player in this Porto rebuild. From Spain he's coming in. From a struggling Valencia side to be exact. It is Christian Mosquera joining us for 20 million. There is also one player from the youth academy, Martin Fernandes, already 65 rated at the age of 17, still in here. I can promote him to the senior team and then probably loan him out for the first season itself. I also want to build a little bit of a European Portuguese youth academy here. There is already one player at the club. I want to see if we can find some centre-backs and CDMs for that matter. By the way, I have gone for the tiki-taka tactical preset. Of course, Porto are going to dominate the Portuguese League. Still, we've got around 30 million to further improve our squad. Next up, I'm going in for a backup striker, at least on paper. He's only 17, 76 rated, a Frenchman. It is Georgi Ledikena joining us from Monaco to further improve our talent in the squad. And finally, maybe a bit of a controversial transfer, but we bring in a player from one of our Portuguese rivals, not from Benfica, but Sporting. He's only 17, wasn't playing regularly at Sporting. We've guaranteed him a starting spot here. It is Giovanni Quenda joining us, 18 million we had to spend. I've also converted both my right backs to right midfielders, Fernandes and João Mario. Doing the same for Quenda from a right midfielder to a left midfielder obviously doesn't go up from there. Let's see how our first big test against Benfica will go away from home. It's a 2-1 loss, so a first big clutch match loss here after we were 1-0 up actually. Of course, this season we are in the Europa League, where the target is to reach the semi-final. Let's see if we can achieve that. We've already found a couple of ballers like this Gouveia guy, Alvaro Martins, and also Telmo Costa, one centre-back and two CDMs from the youth academy. Let's promote all three of those and loan them out. We've even sold Dani Namaso to Crystal Palace at the halfway point of the season. Both fullbacks Fernandes and Moura to right midfielders, respectively left midfielders. We don't play with fullbacks, so they were a little bit way on, and we have finished in second place. Runner-up in Liga Portugal. Sporting are the champions, 3 points ahead of us. That's not great, but still, second place is alright. Better than Porto in real life, I might add. It's even better considering we've won Taça Portuguesa 2-1 over Vitória. A Milan derby in the Champions League final goes to Inter. We've of course been in the Europa League where we finished in 12th place went to the playoff, where we got knocked out straight away by Athletic Club. 4-3 on aggregate. In the end, it is Athletic Club, the same Athletic Club, defeating Spurs. Of course, Spurs were never going to win that game. And the Conference League goes to Lech over Vitória from Portugal. Pepe has delivered in that camp spot. 25 goals for him, 19 for Ledikena and 19 for Sabu. Both on 19 goals is good. Ostakio with 10 and 11, and Silva, who came back from loan, scored 7 goals as well. Team is looking very fine as well. Quenda up to a 79 is nice to see. We have Fernandes at a 76, the backup right midfielder. Otavio and Mosquera centre backs. Perez is going to return to Udinese. We'll need to find a new solution there next season. Also just found this 16-year-old talent, Pedro Mench, in our final youth academy report. A cam, 84 to 94 potential. He gets promoted right away to the senior team. Finishing in second place in the first season where we get used to the squad, winning the cup of course and qualifying in the playoffs. But getting knocked out there. We need to step our game up. Still not a bad first season. I have found a big Portuguese talent for the striking spot. Only 18 years of age, 74 rated already. From Al-Shabaab, I might add that this, I think, is the Ronaldo regen. He will probably get loaned out in the first season, but we've bought Ricardo Tavares from Al-Shabaab for 11 million. We have made one big sale this season. Francisco Conceição has returned to Porto. We've sold him to Juventus on a permanent for 56 million, and Fran Navarro goes to Lille for 11 million, a third string striker. We didn't really need him. Loaned out all of Fernandes, Mendes and Tavares to Napoli, Mirandes and Fenerbahce. These will certainly need a better centre-back than Pedro, probably also a better CDM than Eustáquio. After the sale of Conceição, we are absolutely stacked, 130 million, but still we can only spend a maximum of 20 million because we weren't effectively in the Champions League. For just about 20 million, we got a transfer over the line. I had to tweak for a long time, but finally I have succeeded. As Rebuild Sombrero has overseen the transfer of Lucas Beraldo, coming in from PSG for 20 million. As a third and final player, we bring in a new CDM from Barcelona, a player who didn't play enough games over there. He did play some, but not really enough to be a full-blown starter. We give him that opportunity at Porto. It is Marc Casado joining us for 20 million. Again, the threshold on the limit. Things fair, and for Casado to get enough game time, I've sold Steven Eustáquio to Bournemouth for about 22 million. We do have a great team, certainly a team full of talents on our hands. Casado goes into that CDM spot. He's of course 21. Beraldo is 21 as well, both on the limit, both in terms of price as well as in terms of age. Can of course not buy players older than the age of 21. Ileni Kena doing well at 77. Casado I hope to grow well. Varela already up to an 84. Otavio is also a great centre-back. And Costa, of course, the captain, the goalkeeper. He's going to be our end-game keeper, one of the best keepers that you can buy on this game. This season we will, by the way, be in the Champions League phase, so we will have Champions League football for the first time. At the halfway point of Liga Portugal after 19 games, we are sitting in first place, 5 points clear of Sporting in second. We haven't lost a game all season long. We have lost one. That is impressive, by the way. Sporting only in second, 5 points off us, but unbeaten so far. And in the Champions League, we've made the playoffs in 16th place. 2 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss. Too many draws here. But we face Athletic Club. It's going to be a very even matchup, I'd say. Here it is then at San Mamés, the first leg, away from home in Bilbao. And it's a 3-2 win for us. Otavio with the first goal, Ileni Kena with a brace. We are not through yet, but in a good position going to Porto. Here we are then for the second leg at the Estadio do Dragão. At home it's a 2-2 draw. Udogi plays for Athletic Club, even though they only promote Basque players, but that's for a story for another day. Samu and Quenda send us through 5-4 on aggregate to the round of 16. This Porto side is low-key cracked, already getting to the round of 16, which means, of course, that next season will be allocated 10 further million for a single player, so we are up to at least already 30 million. Now we are though facing Betis at home at the Estadio do Dragão against the Spaniards. And it's a 3-1 win. We are getting closer to yet another 10 million onto our budget. This is the return leg at the Estadio Benito Villamarin in Sevilla. And we get another big win. 3-0. Ileni Kena with a brace, Samu with the other goal. We destroy Real Betis in the round of 16 and get to the quarterfinals, another 10 million for next season. We're already in the quarterfinals facing Bayer Leverkusen. The Germans away from home and we lose 3-2. Gyökeres has changed alliances. He's gone from Sporting, as it seems, to Leverkusen. Might explain why Sporting are doing a little bit poorly. He has scored 2 goals here, but we are still in with a shot. Let's see if we can turn things around. At the Estadio do Dragão, we don't. We lose again 2-1 this time. Very close games both times, but we lose both of them and are out in the quarterfinals. Still a good run. 20 million added onto next season's transfer budget. Actually, not really 20 million added onto the transfer budget, but we can spend at least 40 million. So 20 million more than this season on a single player. Here we are at the top of Liga Portugal at the end of Season 2. Clearly the best team in Portugal. 8 points ahead of Braga in second. Benfica in third. Sporting all the way down in fourth. We don't win the Portuguese Cup this year as Benfica defeat Vitória. We've been knocked out in the quarterfinals by Vitória on penalties. A bit unlucky. In the end, the Champions League goes to Man City over PSG. The Europa League goes to Lazio in an all-Italian affair over Napoli, and the Conference League to Arsenal over Atalanta. Ileni Kena, 82 rated at the age of 19, gone up by 5 overall, and our top scorer by a country mile. 36 goals, 26 for Samu, who is 87 rated. Phenomenal striker partnership. Pepe with 21 and 14, 8 and 4 for Quenda, and even 8 and 4 for Moura, who has played 51 games. João Mario only with 38 games played. As expected with this team, we have won the title in our second season already. Quarterfinals of the Portuguese Cup and certainly quarterfinals of the Champions League is great. But we have to build on that. Maybe try to go for it all, just like the Porto side in 2003-04. Oh, I'm rubbing my hands together, boys. We have 104 million in our budget, can spend 40 million on a single player. Have done some big business, especially big numbers. We got for João Mario 44 million into the books from Inter. Pepe goes to Aston Villa. Now, please guys, an astonishing 74 million euros. As well as Francisco Moura, who goes to Arsenal. 45 million for joining the Gunners. We've yet again also loaned out Fernandes, Gül, Gomez and Tavares. Kind of funny because Martin Fernandes is the same name of the player that we've already got at the club, the right midfielder. About Martin Fernandes, he's of course now going into that starting 11 with the absence of Who was it again? João Mario, the right midfielder. Will we bring in another cam? I don't know. Mora has returned from loan. He's 76 rated at the age of 19. I'm not so sure, guys. I'm not gonna lie. With the threshold of 40 million on the exact limit, we've brought in the only one and only player probably in this transfer window. I'm not gonna say definitely, but maybe a backup goalkeeper we also need. For now, though, we bring in a new right midfielder. Two Fernandezes on the right midfield spot as Roger Fernandez joins us from Spurs for 40 million, the former Braga player, in real life as well. Still, we've sold three players, Romario Barrio, Tomas Perez and Ivan Jaime. Go away. Jaime got us 24 million into the bank, 4 million for Barrio and not even a million for Perez. We have a staggering amount of money, 250 million, and I don't even want to spend it, guys. Just for backup purposes and for the player to grow into the future, I've signed an 18-year-old goalkeeper, 77 overall already. Coming in as the fourth string goalkeeper from Real Madrid, it is Lucas Silva joining us for 24.7 million. This is our team for Season 3 and it is bloody good. Look at the overalls on those players. Only Mora is not in his 80s. Roger Fernandez is the new man in here. Hopefully Mora replacing Pepe is not going to give us too much of a downgrade, but I am hopeful that even the defense that is still young, goalkeeper 91 rated, is going to carry us once again into at least the round of 16, like quarterfinal. Alright guys, something terrible has happened. We are only in 6th place in Liga Portugal after 20 games. 8 wins, 8 draws and 4 losses is too much. 15 points behind Sporting is crazy. On the other hand, we have had 8 wins from 8 in the Champions League, which is even more crazy. We go to the round of 16 and secure 10 additional million on a player next year. Round of 16, we face Villarreal, first away from home. It's a 2-all draw. Rodrigo Mora and Mosquera scored. Ilenikena missed a penalty and Retegui and Livaja scored for Villarreal. Let's see how far we can take this. Can we overcome Villarreal? Yes, 2-0 win. Samu and Roger with the goals. It is in the quarter-finals. Let's see how we play against the Gunners. First away from home. We win 3-2. Kwenda, Ilenikena and Samu with the goals. We've already secured 20 additional million on a single player transfer. Can we secure 30 by knocking out Arsenal? Yes. We win 4-2, and we might not even need new players next season because we are already in the semi-finals. Courtesy Samu Brace, Ilenikena and Mora goals. Now, in the semi-finals, we face Manchester United, first away from home at Old Trafford, and it's a 4-2 win. We've already done most of the work away from home. Samu with a brace, a hat-trick actually, and Rodrigo Mora with a goal. About to knock out Manchester United and go to the final, and exactly that is what we do. We were 2-0 down through Binden and Garnacho, but Roger, Ilenikena and Guvaya all scored to make it a 7-5 win on aggregate. A pretty horrible season domestically. If we don't win the Champions League, we won't even be in it next year as we finish in 5th place behind Famalicão. Braga, the champions, ahead of Sporting and Benfica. We even lose to Famalicão in the Portuguese Cup final, which is a travesty. We've had a poor domestic season. Now, 46 goals for Samu is crazy. 16 of them in the Champions League in 14 games. 33 for Ilenikena and 13 for Fernandes, with 10 and 12 for Mora. Let's see then with this side. Costa, the highest rated player. Samu also 90 overall. Varela 88. A back line that is looking very nice. Can we defeat PSG in the Champions League final? PSG already going forward. Ramos into Dembele. This is Ousmane Dembele. 1-0. I don't believe it. 3 minutes in, PSG already take the lead through Ousmane Dembele. Can we react right away through Giovanni Quenda? 1-1, 5 minutes in. What is going on in this final? 1-1 after 5 minutes. Here's Kökçü now again into Kvaratskhelia. Now Sergej Milinkovic-Savic into Kvaratskhelia. Great save, Costa. Quenda looking for Mora. What a entertaining Champions League final. Can Mora feed Samu? Omorodion, Samu. And I think that's a penalty. I think that is a penalty. We have just been awarded a penalty kick in the 13th minute for a foul from Normand on Samu somehow, yes. Let's see if we can convert that pen. I'm gonna take it with Samu or Morodion. Let's see if we can slow it home. Absolutely. 2-1. We take the lead. 13 minutes in. Crazy final. Can we now calm things down a little bit? That would be great. Here is Dembele though. Again, Dembele, but look at Beraldo. Still PSG, they won the attack. Ramos, but Casado intercepts. Roger going forward. Look at his speed. This is Fernandes. Roger. Fernandes! 3-1 from 1-0 down. That is crazy. We take the lead in commanding fashion within the first 21 minutes. Neves. A lot of open midfielders here as PSG get a chance, but a good save by keeper Costa. This is Giovanni Quenda going forward. Look at his speed. Look at him go. We can overwhelm PSG with our attacking play. Samu. Here comes Kvaratskhelia, top player, up against Mosquera. And a header by Ramos, but a save by Costa. The fans are not happy as it seems. Here is Ousmane Dembele. Dembele looking for an answer here right at the start of the second half. Deflected shot. Still PSG with a rebound. Drifting past our midfielders. Here's John Duran. Great interception by former PSG player Beraldo. Now Varela looking for Samu, who can send away Quenda with his speed. Here goes Geoffrey Quenda, I wanted to say. Quenda, good save. Good play by Otavio. Now can we send Samu away onto his bike once again, up against Donnarumma, who makes a save. We could have wrapped this game up already, I'm not gonna lie, lads. But we are in a good spot as Duran gets played in. Just as I say this, Costa has to make a huge save. Roger, he's also got the speed. Roger, look at him go. Glide past Kerkez, who is also not one of the weakest left backs in the game. And still Fernandes. Half of the team is very tired. I'm going to bring in players like Souza, Martin Fernandes. Not a new striker, but probably a new defender. I'm not so sure actually who to bring in else. I'm gonna leave it like this. Here come PSG one more time. Kvaratskhelia into John Duran, who gets a goal back in the 90th minute. I don't think PSG will have time. If we keep the ball calmly, coolly, then nothing will happen. But PSG get it back. That doesn't matter, however, as we have just won the Champions League with Porto in a season where domestically nothing has worked out. But we are the Champions League winners, just like in 2003-04. Porto as the outsiders, the underdogs in this competition, certainly against PSG. We have done it. We have made Porto, once again, the first team since themselves winning the Champions League outside of the top 5 leagues. Hopefully guys, you enjoyed this video just as much as I did, using those young players with the financial restrictions as well, to keep it a little bit realistic. I could have sold like the first 2 or 3 players per season as well, but I think we've done a good job selling a few key players like Pepe, like João Mario during the course of those 3 seasons. Now though, a player we kept until the end, Diogo Costa, is going to lift the Champions League trophy. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and also tell me in the comments what else you'd like to see next. I'm going to say goodbye until next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day. It's been Rebuild Sombrero. I'm out.